When working with digital photography, one of the main things that comes through within post-production, especially with Photoshop, is colour saturation and hue. Now, colour saturation is basically how much colour you want within your photograph. You can actually reduce or increase this quite simply in Photoshop, and the hue is actually a good form of colour replacement. And we're going to basically show you the minor tools that you can start using just to get an idea of what you can do with a photograph. Now, back to this image as usual, you can see that the pens are actually a very vivid green. And let's give an example of the client wants us to change the colour of the pens. They weren't happy with them, they weren't the right pens, maybe they've had a branding change. So they've said we want them to be, well, let's say purple, okay? So the main way to do this is if you actually go up to the main menu within Photoshop and hit the image and adjustments, so you get this subcategory up, you'll find instantly that you've got hue and saturation located here, okay? Now if you just give this a quick click, you'll see that you've got hue, saturation and lightness. But you've also got masters, reds, yellows, greens, cyanes, blues and magentas in this other menu. Now, for the moment we will just keep this on master, okay, because the reds, yellows, greens, etc., they are actually different color channels, okay. Every color, as you'll know if you look at color wheels, is made up of a variety of different colors, okay, and you can actually manipulate certain things. So for example, with a lot of portrait artwork, if you've got someone who's got a very red complexion, then I could actually click the red channel and start adjusting the saturation of their red and reduce the red pixels within their complexion and actually get rid of some of the redness. But that's quite an advanced thing to do, so we'll carry on just looking at this for now, okay? Right, so with the hue and saturation, pretty simple, three slider tools including the brightness. If you hold and click the saturation tool and bring it to the left, which goes to grey, you'll notice that the colour's actually drained out of the image. It's now a monochrome image, completely black and white. And you'll see that you've got a value of -100, okay? Now if we just remove that minus and bring it back to 100, you see that it's instantly jumped up to the most vivid part and you've got all these colours bleeding through, completely unnatural and way too much saturation. Okay, and that's because obviously the slider is moved all the way. If you bring it to 0, 0 doesn't mean that you've got no saturation. 0 just means that you haven't adjusted at this moment. Okay, so this is exactly how the image was and you've just put it back to normal. So let's say we want to just increase the saturation just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more vibrant. Maybe we think that the colour's not quite pumped up enough, okay? So we'll move it up and you can instantly see that the green is starting to get a lot brighter. Now you need to be very careful with the saturation tool because it does have certain flaws. Because you're trying to adjust something digitally, there's only so much information that the camera has captured. And when you start to increase the saturation, you'll start to see banding in the form just here. You can actually see it's not exactly smooth anymore, it's almost like sand, it's very grainy, okay? So if you want to increase the saturation, don't go too high because you'll suddenly see it's bleeding out, it's not working very well. You can't differentiate one shade of green from another. So if you bring it back and be a bit more realistic, and say something along 5 will do for now, okay? And hit OK. Now, as we've done before with the layers, you can do a preview tool to see if there's much of a difference. And then you can actually go back into the adjustments and we can start changing the colour. Now, with the hue, you will actually see you've got all colours of the spectrum going across on this bar. This arrow is predominantly on the green section and this resembles the green channel right here. Now if we click and hold and start bringing it round, you'll actually see you can change the colours, okay? Now we said we wanted a little bit more purple, so if you just scroll across and you'll suddenly find that it will hit purple at a given point. If we just go through, there we go, it's starting to go purple and that's pretty good. It's a little blue but it will do, it's pretty close, okay? Now the hue tool on here, it will affect all of the pixels within your image. The reason why white hasn't changed is because it's not actually a colour. Black isn't either, okay? But the blue text has now gone this horrible funny shade of green, okay? But we'll hit OK for now and we can say, right, well we've got them going green and all we need to do is mask and clean this up a little bit and we'll actually have the pens with the green look, okay? And that's pretty much how the hue and saturation tool will work within Photoshop.